senators for being here today and representatives. And if it's all right with you, uh, we'll just go ahead and have them explain each bill as we go through, and then we can talk about them as we go through. Is that good with you guys? All right. Would one of the revisers please explain where we're at on SB 142?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Symbol 142, as it passed the Senate, contained provisions essentially creating a new move over law. Require drivers upon approaching a stop, standing, or parked vehicle, essentially either move over the lane or proceed with due caution, reduce the speed of the vehicle, maintain a safe speed for the road. The provision of the bill would create a new fine at the rate of uh, $75 for a conviction or a finding guilty. The House added provisions of the bill dealing with prohibiting the use of a mobile telephone for individuals for operating in a vehicle in a school zone or a road construction zone, and it also would prohibit individuals under the age of 18 years of age from using a mobile telephone while operating a vehicle. Fines for finding violations of this section would be $60. Um, is there anything else you'd like? Is that pretty much go through? Okay.
I think that's pretty well it. Senator Peterson?
Question, Brad, I'm on that 2499. Is that the same way as it came out of the Senate committee? My question was particularly on the use of the having the handheld device that's in there for the mobile. You can use your mobile phone in the speakerphone mode.
I think we inserted the contents of the House bill in that, so it wouldn't reflect any.
Okay, that's
that right?
That's fine.
Let me make sure.
I just want to make sure that provision was in there. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm getting a head shake. Yes, Adam.
What provision are you referring to, Senator?
You can use a handheld device in speakerphone mode. Like if you had it mounted on your dash, you can just touch it with one finger.
Yes, since I wasn't involved in the House changes, I'm hesitant to answer specifically on any changes, but I believe that they adopted the provisions. The Senate, I believe, just made a change to the register on the underlying vote. So, but other than that, I believe the provisions are identical.
Yeah, we put the House version in, didn't we? Because it was only a register change. But you guys passed, though, another bill kind of similar to this, didn't you, that we didn't look at?
Right, we had 426. We would probably like to take a shot at looking at 426. 426 has got some pretty serious infractions in it if you injure or kill a law enforcement, first responder, or emergency worker. And I think 426 also increased the fine from 195 to 400. Pretty substantial increases in some of those.
Okay.
We'd like you to take consideration of
sure
in there to move over into your combination 142 there.
Yeah, can we put that off and we'll look at that? We'd be glad to kind of get a safety package out. Yeah, 426.
Okay.
Does that sound good to you? Maybe we get back together.
Later. That'll work.
Yep. All right. So let's table 142.
We'd have to create a shell to put that one in, because I don't believe you guys had a hearing on train length.
Yeah, I think I was supposed to have a hearing on that. Maybe I got overruled. But I do understand that there's one part of that, so much of that that I think is just federally preempted. But there's a 250-foot setback that you guys have in that, I think it's definitely within our realm to regulate.
Right. If you'd had the hearing, there probably would have been a few changes. That 250 foot, you may have got the same email that I did.
Yeah.
We need to put in a provision in there possibly for KDOT to look at some exceptions if there's needs to be an exception somewhere, and possibly clarifying it if there's an adjacent track.
Yeah, let's see if we can't find a shell somewhere and we'll work on some language and maybe come back to you guys with it after we've had a chance to talk.
Yeah, if you want to put the train length in, you're more than welcome.
Yeah. Well, I don't like to have federal lawsuits just to have a federal lawsuit, but thanks for the opportunity.
Some of those rulings only applied to Conrail, so we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
We'll move on.
Next one that we have is Senate Bill 359. One of you want to go over SB 359?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senate Bill 359 contains several new distinctive license plates that would be created. It originally started as the Kansas City Chiefs license plate, would create a new license plate for the Kansas City Chiefs. The Senate, the whole added the Sporting Kansas City license plate, and the Sedgwick County Zoo license plate. Those were added in committee. Excuse me. And also on the floor, I believe it was Senate, the Kansas City Royals license plate and the Kansas City current license plate were added. The House combined with the Topeka Zoo license plate and the Support the Troops license plate.
Yeah, and could you, I know we're hopping around a little bit, but the Senate had a license plate bill that passed out their deal. Could you go over it? It's 2498, I believe. It was a House bill, but they made a change to it. Don't you love it when I just go all the way to the back?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, House Bill 2498 would create another license plate. This one would be the first city of Kansas distinctive license plate. An additional provision that the Senate committee added would require certain license plates to have the county of registration for the motor vehicle would be identified on the plate. It would be a requirement that all of these plates have that included on them.
At the same time, we had a bill submitted that wanted no county designations on any license plates, and it became very controversial. But I also know that Division of Motor Vehicles, I think, gave us testimony as far as the cost to go back and redesign old plates. That it was kind of a cumbersome deal. So, we definitely like the first city of Kansas license plate. If there's any way we could combine those two together and work something out on that county designation, maybe. Oh, and then we've got a Delta waterfowl license plate, I think, also.
What'd you say about the waterfowl?
I forgot about that one because that seemed like a rats and cats kind of bill. That Delta waterfowl is another license plate bill that I think it never got out of your committee, did it?
Make it out of our committee. Comfrey was having difficulty. He couldn't explain anywhere where they ever spent any money in the state of Kansas. They did have an organized hunt. The members of Wichita organized a hunt, 50 members in Wichita, but
Okay.
Didn't show where he'd spend money. And I know that spending money on the flyways in Canada and North Dakota both help the population here, but our committee just, I think I got the feeling that they didn't feel like it was worthy of sending our money up there.
Okay.
Would you consider on the license plate just doing the ones moving forward, the new ones, so we don't have to add design cost?
Yeah, yeah, I think we would be in favor of language like that. We want to make sure that, we don't want to put the agency in a problem of going back to make people redesign, but I think we could look at something, get some language drawn up. Do you have any language drawn up on that? Okay, let's get some language drawn up on that. And I think, yeah, we look at that favorable moving forward.
I have a problem with the first city of Kansas license plate at all. Delta Waterfowl is the one that we had the issues with.
Okay, and I think we're good letting that one slide. Get them to make some investments in Kansas, and then we can look at it again.
Would help.
Okay. Let's, since 410 hasn't passed, well, 410, okay, 410's not in committee yet, is it? So hasn't got through the process. I think we've got another one that has. Let's go to, PFC Memorial Highway and 96th Infantry Division and the Derek Scott Martin Memorial Bridge. And then what do you, and I'm just asking, but we also had a naming bill, House Bill 2501, locomotive and railroad. Do you think that could fit within the purview of those other two?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, it would probably be fine to combine all those together if that would be the desire.
Say floor top.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Start with Senate Bill 410. Originally began its life as it's all essentially a comprehensive road naming bill, as it's the Ken W. Brock Memorial Highway, naming a portion of US Highway 69. Another portion of US 69 or 80, or excuse me, US Highway 81 was added as the Merle Miller Memorial Highway. US Highway 281 as the First Responders Memorial Highway. It also had to redesignate a current portion of the Frank Carlson Memorial Highway for US Highway 81 to fit in the other named, and would redesignate a current portion of the American Legion Memorial Highway for US Highway 281. Essentially, those are currently named as those, and they had to chunk out a section of those. Moving on to HB 2481, this would designate a portion of K96 Highway as the PFC Henry Lee Fisher Memorial Highway, and also a portion would be named as the 96th Infantry Division Memorial Highway. And also the bill would designate a bridge in Sumner County as the SRA Derek Scott Martin Memorial Bridge, excuse me. And lastly, HB 2501 would designate the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe number 3415 as the official steam state official state steam locomotive, and it would designate the Abilene and Smoky Valley Railroad as the official state heritage railroad.
No, Senator, do you think we just package all three of those together in one bill and maybe come to an agreement today and just get that one headed to the floor? I don't think we want to do 410. There's a problem doing 410, isn't there, since the conferees haven't been appointed yet? So it needs to be 2501 or 2481.
That would be correct.
And we called the conference committee on 2481. So should we put it in 2481 or 2501?
Mr. Chairman,
Doesn't make any difference.
it doesn't matter. There's more provisions currently in 2481, but it really doesn't,
Is it all right with you guys to put them all in 2481? I think they said it was fine. We need to take a vote. We need to take a vote on that. Is there any disagreement? Yep. Let's go ahead and get that one done. All right. The next one we have is 462, Senate Bill 462. If you could describe that, revisers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senate Bill 462 contained two original separate provisions that were combined. The first one on the Senate side, when it passed the Senate, was the military even exchange program for commercial driver's license. That House added in the DACH, the ability for the Department of Revenue or Secretary or Director of Vehicles, excuse me, to adopt rules and regulations. So that way the adopt the DACH, it's called DACH, right? Clearinghouse program, excuse me, for commercial motor vehicle drivers.
So was there any difference in the versions that were passed? Was there any difference in it looks like they both passed both houses. And they're both together in 462, right? Am I seeing that right? Okay. Are you guys good with getting that done, or do you guys need to talk about it, or? I know there's a $19 million fiscal note, I think, on that one.
Yeah, we're good with those, putting those together. Effective date in the publication of the statute.
Okay, that's your position? Oh, that way I win one, huh?
One.
Okay, so we're in agreement to go ahead and
Yeah, we only amended that when we were in committee, was just to make sure we got it to conference in case we could save some shells. Yes, sir.
I think we did the same thing. All right.
Yes.
Chris Byron from the Writer's Office. On Senate Bill 462, since the bill already has the Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse and the military even exchange, there's no further amendments that's needed to the bill. So it could be a motion to concur. I don't know if that was said, but I just wanted to.
Do a motion to concur.
Correct. If the bill is fine as is, yeah. And it's statute book on that as well.
Sounds like a winner.
Okay, sounds great.
That was easy.
Let's see, we've talked about the First City of Kansas license plate. We've talked about the steam locomotives. And then the rest of these down below kind of didn't get through one house or the other. You said you wanted to try to find a.
We got a couple of bills that are sitting out there. We got one that's Senate Bill 272. It was a transfer
Yeah,
from the State Highway Fund, Public General Aviation Airport, $5 million a year. That is in a proviso for 1 year, but this was like the program that went on. It'd be nice to have that in.
a shell or something.
And we also have a establishing intercity passenger rail service program that's hanging out there. $5 million a year.
I mean, that one got pulled off the consent calendar by got pulled off the consent calendar and leadership didn't want to run it, but let me talk to them about it and see if we can't find a shell and get that one over the line. As far as SB 349, I really want to wait until this service development plan's done. That's the feasibility study. And then I also struggle philosophically with the fact that we're putting $5 million away in a fund on the side and paying interest to that fund rather than like we do most of our large capital infrastructure projects where if they're more than our current budget handles, we have an appropriations process that deals with that. And sometimes we do bonding. So, I definitely want to see the service development plan before I do anything on SB 349.
349 was to put money for the operation of the rail in there.
Yep.
So by having money being set aside for operations, we can draw down more federal dollars for rail improvement.
Yeah.
Not taking on rail length, we can get the tracks improved and the sidings improved. It would.
Let's talk about that one some more.
Okay.
Was there anything else down below there that you guys? Let me check on that airport development fund. I'd like to get that off our plate too. Yeah, 272 if we can find something, but I kind of got to think about it a little bit. I think that covers most of the ones that
You're wanting us to do a concur on 462?
462. Yeah, do a concur on that and we'll get the paperwork started on the.
Make sure I got the right number. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we'll tie all those license, those bridge and road and steam locomotive naming
Want to
things
meet
together.
again later today or tomorrow? Or?
Yeah, I think I'd like to get as much of this knocked out as we can today. Would you guys? What do you think?
I'm meeting the Utilities Conference Committee at 3:30.
You guys we're both going back to the floor too. You think 2:30? Or is that cutting it too close to your utilities?
I know we've asked supervisors to draft quite a bit. I'm just.
Yeah. Yours is at 3:30. How long do you think it'll last?
I don't know. It could go fast. Could take a while. 3 bills.
Is 4:30? Would you guys have time to get what you need done by 4:30?
It kind of depends on the other things going on. I have other conference committee reports. I can't guarantee anything we'll have drafted, especially the big one will be put together by essentially by today. I'll have it definitely by tomorrow morning. But you guys are welcome to meet and get agreements reached. I can't guarantee that the conference committee report will be drafted and ready to sign by this evening.
410, 2498. 5 options. Okay. I know my conferee here has a meeting at 4 with Fed and State Affairs, but we're supposed to be on the floor at 4 too. So you still on at 4:30? Yeah, just we're going in briefly at 2. Probably just some motions, and then want to try and do some at 3. Here. Want to go back to the 4:30? This is Martin. He's got one at 4. We can do it at 5, and staff can be here at 5. Perfect. We'll wrap up. Time to go to Shrimp Field.